Hi there, I'm Euge Valovirta and this is about Marshall DSL20. Alright, some noodling there. That's all on the song was totally improvised, except the arpeggios what I played, but yeah, DSL20. Well, you heard, you really can't go wrong with a Les Paul. It's ESP, but Les Paul and a Marshall. So I've done videos of the other three 20 watt, the Studio series, the 800 Plexi and Jubilee. And this one has also EL34s, not EL84s, but real EL34s in the power amp section and 3 ECC83 preamp tubes. 2 channels, ultra gain, classic gain, reverb. It's a reverb. Then resonance and presence controls. These affect the power amp section of your amp. So with the resonance, you kind of dial the overall like low shelf of the amp, and with presence you dial the like global high shelf. How much lows and how much highs. Basic, bass, middle, treble, preamp, EQ. Tone shift, which scoops the sound, if you like. I personally don't like scooped sound because there's no body. With mids, I dial in quite a lot, usually, or whatever is the sweet spot, so that the sound has body. And it's like aggressive, and you can actually hear the guitar when you play in a band context. Ultra gain, classic gain. The ultra gain, this is kind of like modern amp, so very kind of sharp, precise, like modern type of gain. So now, yeah, I had a Boss SD1 on, and well, the signal chain, guitar, couple of pedals, Crybaby wah wah. Then it goes to this radial head tube amp switcher, then into 2 amps, no speaker outs from the amp, goes back to this, and then I have the third reactive load over there, where I have Jens Bogren's Valovirta impulse response from the new Lead and Clean pack. Then the signal goes to this Steinberg UR816C audio interface, and I'm recording this to Cubase and monitoring myself with my Genelec monitors. Where was I? Ultra gain, yeah. So, tons of gain. Okay, no overdrive, nothing. So as you hear, when you dial in lots of gain, it's like with any amp. It just comes mushy and not so tight. And I mean, if that's what you like, then cool. But I like, you know, the sound to be tight and, you know, precise in your face. So you usually find the sweet spot like on any amp. There, which, no. And the master is like with tube amps, you kind of have to dial it quite a lot so that the power tunes really become alive. So this is really loud. You play with the cabinet. If you see my video about the studio series, the other 20 watts where I showed how loud they are. And 5, when you turn this to low, it's 5 watts. But it's still quite loud, or really loud, with the cabinet, like 4x12 at least. Okay, then the classic gain. That's... well, I think it's supposed to be kind of like Plexi or 800, but it isn't. Let me show you. So, gain to 0 and I dial it. So this is the max. That's not Plexi or 800, not even close. And when you dial it back, if you want a clean sound, there's kind of this quite high metallic sound. This kind of acts like 800 or Plexi. You know, the more preamp gain you dial in, the better it sounds. Okay, by lowering down the volume for clean sound. But yeah, well, it's okay. There's a sound. And the ultra gain channel, even though I kind of have the same amount of gain than what I have when I use 800, like this rock sound, and then it cleans up nicely, this doesn't clean so nicely. I mean, you basically have to turn the volume almost off and then it's cleanish, but then there's no body. So, I mean, this is a lot cheaper than the other 20-watt heads. Well, like you heard, for modern hard rock and metal, this works just fine. And for the price, it's Marshall. And it has a low end. It's like, pit bull, like really kind of aggressive, this modern sound, so to say. Myself, I prefer like vintage Marshall sounds like 800 or Plexi, but this has its time and place. So let's compare it to TSL, which is kind of like DSL, but 3 channels. So first, this one, no overdrive, nothing. Then TSL, I need to cut some dBs because it's a bit louder. Well, like you heard, 100-watt tube amp, more tubes, bigger transformers, more everything. The sound is bigger. I mean, this has probably more like low end, or at least the same amount, but it's smaller in size, and the sound is a bit smaller too. But in a mix, yeah. So that's that. And the back panel, there's actually pretty cool things. So there's auxiliary in. You can, hook your mobile phone. It has this kind of like whatever RCA cable. And then there's speaker emulated out, which is designed by Softube, who makes fantastic Marshall plugins. Let me hook the emulated out and I can show you how that sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna put this end back here, emulate it out, and then these 2 cables. So this is a stereo cable, so I can record like left and right and pan it so it sounds bigger. This here, then I need to press record. It's recording, let's see. And then this to standby, otherwise the emulated out doesn't work. So, like you hear, I think it's kind of like, raw cabinet sound, because the Jens Bogren IRs, they're like mix ready. So Jens has treated them, EQ'd them a little bit, he has used really good preamp, because when you mic a cabinet, it goes and there's a preamp where it goes, and that can add warmth and stuff. But this is actually, you can work with this. If I would use this, and you hear, I would probably cut some mids, add lots of highs, but you can compensate with just dialing this. Well, I mean, yeah, it's maybe jamming with headphones, or, you know, if you know how to EQ a signal, then you can work this out. Okay, now we're back with the reactive load and the Booger IR. And as you can hear now, because I dialed the sound with the emulated IR, it's completely different than what it was, so that's why don't dial with your eyes. Your eyes don't hear, well, at least my eyes don't hear a thing, but my ears do. So too much lower. Where's the resonance there? That's how we dial sound. Okay, so in my opinion, this is really good for this kind of modern metal sound. But if you want that 800 raw or that plexi raw power or a little bit more sophisticated Silver Jubilee, then I'm afraid you have to invest a little bit more money and buy one of those amps, the small heads or the big ones. But if you're on a budget, you want to have a Marshall, fantastic option. I mean, I played with the DSL100, I played probably, I don't know, a few hundred shows, because with Shining we used rental backline, and well, I had the JCM800 on the rider, but I also had the DSL and TSL, because some 800s, especially the old ones, some sound fantastic, like this, some sound like crap. So, but DSLs, these are very consistent. They basically sound like they sound. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this was interesting and informative and so on. And please remember, this is just my opinion. So, you know, I always said, please try out these yourself, because you might get a totally different sound and different vibe and different feel than me. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know the drill. Thumbs up, subscribe, so on. Hey, take care. See you next time. Bye.